Who is going to the Champions League quarter-finals? Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today we are back predicting the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 games, and some of these are really interesting. After the results last time, we're now going to do predictions for the second legs and see who might be going through to the Champions League quarter-finals. Make sure to share your Champions League predictions down in the comments. Get involved by letting me know your predictions. Also make sure to hit the like button. We'll go for 999 likes on this one. We didn't hit the like target last time, so make sure you've hit the like button this time. It's free to like, and it is also free to subscribe. To make sure you get your football predictions fixed over here, hit that subscribe button. With all of that said though, let's get into predicting the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 games. And we're going to start with Bayern Munich versus Lazio. And of course this one is 1-0 to Lazio as we go back to the Allianz. And it's really interestingly poised. Now I must admit, I was a little bit surprised that Bayern Munich lost to Lazio. Fair play to Lazio, they played well, they took their chance when it came with an Immobile penalty. It seemed as if Bayern Munich hit the self-destruct button with the red card as well, but they still have a chance with it now being at home for the second leg, but they have got to come from behind to win and get through here. And I don't know, I mean, Bayern Munich on paper are the strong favourites here for me, but they just haven't seemed to have clicked this season. They're a long way off Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, so I really do think they need to keep going in the Champions League. If they lose this, it's a disaster. And will they lose this? I think they could, but I'm going to say they won't. I do think Bayern Munich will get through here. Don't get me wrong, Lazio played so well in the last game, and if they can come here and be defensively sound and get a clean sheet, that's all they need to do. Or even if they can pinch one goal, that might be enough with a 1-1 draw or something. But I do think Bayern Munich might just have enough, and I mean just, to just get through overall. I'm going to go 2-0 to Bayern Munich. When I look at that team, Kane, Sane, Musiala, Muller, they've got to put it together for this game. It's a massive game in Bayern Munich's season, and I think they'll beat Lazio 2-0, 2-1 on aggregate. Bayern Munich going through to the Champions League quarter-finals. Share your predictions for that one. The next game we are going to is Real Sociedad versus PSG, and Paris Saint-Germain hold the advantage after a 2-0 home win in the first leg. They now go away to Spain and just need to make sure they don't mess it up, and I think they will be okay. I did back PSG to win by 2 goals when I did my predictions for the first legs, but I think I said 3-1 instead of 2-0. Either way, I think PSG do have enough to get this over the line. They've been solid this year. They're top of Ligue 1. They might not have been at their fluid best in the Champions League group stages, but they still did get through, and they've done all right so far against Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad sits 7th in La Liga, so you feel like they should focus on the Champions League here. If they can overturn this, they're into the quarter-finals, and that would be some achievement here for Real Sociedad. But I do think PSG will get through. I think the 2-goal cushion gives them a nice buffer here that they can come and play a counter-attacking performance. I think on the night it might be quite a close game. I'm actually going to predict Real Sociedad 1, PSG 1. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. But ultimately, Real Sociedad need to win by at least 2 goals to take it to extra time, 3 goals to turn it around in the 90 minutes. But I think PSG are too good. I can't see them not scoring. I think Mbappe will probably score again. So I'm going for 1-1, 3-1 to PSG on aggregate. PSG going through to the Champions League quarter-finals. Next up then we go to the Etihad. It's Manchester City versus FC Copenhagen. This is going to be very difficult here for FC Copenhagen. They come in hope rather than expectation of getting through to the Champions League quarter-finals. We did say that it was always going to be the toughest draw getting Manchester City, the reigning champions of Europe. And I did predict Manchester City to win 3-1 at FC Copenhagen in the last Champions League predictions video we did. And we got it spot on. They did win 3-1. So they come back to the Etihad, and I don't think they need to go full strength. They can probably rotate the team a little bit, not too much mind. FC Copenhagen are still a solid team that could come and get a goal and maybe try and cause a couple problems, but can they overturn it? I'm going to say no. In fact, I'm going to go for another 3-1 win here to Manchester City. I think FC Copenhagen might get a goal, but Manchester City are firing now on all cylinders. They've got Haaland scoring goals, and that's if he plays. Even if he doesn't, I still think Manchester City win this. Kevin De Bruyne is back. The team has come together in the latter stages of the season. Manchester City get through here. I'll say 3-1, 6-2 on aggregate to Manchester City. Next then, we go to the Bernabeu, where it is Real Madrid versus RB Leipzig. And Real Madrid have a 1-goal lead after winning 1-0 in Germany, with Diaz's goal being enough to get the win. So RB Leipzig come to the Bernabeu knowing that they need to win to overturn this, and it's going to be very difficult here. Real Madrid obviously flying this season. Real Madrid are top of La Liga and they're one of my favourites to possibly win the Champions League this season, and I do think they'll get through. I think this game could also be quite low scoring and cagey. Do you know what though? I will go with both teams to score. I'll go for RB Leipzig to get 1, but Real Madrid to win 2-1 on the night, and therefore 3-1 on aggregate. Real Madrid are just too strong. They are one of the best teams in Europe. When you've got the likes of Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo, they've got so much power and so much flair about them that I can't see Real Madrid really messing this up. I think they're going to get through to the Champions League quarterfinals as well. 2-1 to Real Madrid, 3-1 on aggregate. RB Leipzig are out. Next up, we are back in England. We are at the Emirates for Arsenal versus FC Porto, and this one is really interesting now because Porto come to the Emirates with an advantage, making this one more interesting than maybe we thought in the first place. Now, I did actually predict Arsenal to go and win in Portugal away at Porto, and they didn't. In fact, they lost 1-0 in the 94th minute. A really fantastic performance and result for FC Porto. So they come here with a chance of actually getting through, but Arsenal for me are just still too strong. I know it sounds a little bit harsh on FC Porto here, but Arsenal are the favourites to win this for a reason. They've got so much going for them and so many good attacking options. The only thing Arsenal need to be wary of is not to fall into FC Porto's trap here, who are surely going to come and play as defensive as they can and try and spring a couple of counter-attacks. But I think Arsenal will rise above it, and I do think Arsenal will get through to the quarter-finals. Yes, it won't be straightforward now that they have to come from behind, but if Arsenal can get an early goal, I think it could end up being fairly comfortable on the night. I'll go Arsenal 3, FC Porto 0, therefore Arsenal 3, FC Porto 1 on aggregate. I do think Arsenal are going to get through, and to be honest, I'm excited to see if they can get to the quarterfinals and see who they'd get, because Arsenal, I do feel that they could go toe-to-toe with some of the top teams in Europe. So let's see how this one plays out, but I'm going for Arsenal to get to the quarterfinals. Next up then to the Nou Camp for Barcelona versus Napoli, and this one is on a knife edge after it finishing 1-1 in Italy. So Barcelona now have the home advantage, and I do make them slight favourites, but I could see Napoli possibly getting something from this one. As I say, it finished 1-1 last time, with Osimhen scoring for Napoli and Lewandowski scoring for Barcelona. Both of these sides have got great attacking options, and I can see both of them scoring again. So once again, I'm going to say both teams to score. I'm just going to say Barcelona edged this one. Both could do with improving a little bit in their respective leagues. Barcelona currently sit 3rd in La Liga. Can they climb and challenge for the title this season? We will wait and see. As for Napoli, they're down in mid-table, 9th in Serie A. As for this game, I think it'd be close, but I do think Barcelona will just get through. Wouldn't surprise me if Napoli do, but I'm going Barcelona 2, Napoli 1, therefore Barcelona 3, Napoli 2 on aggregate. Share your predictions for that one. I'm going for Barcelona to also get through to the Champions League quarter-finals. The next game then, we are sticking in Spain for Atletico Madrid versus Inter Milan. Another game which is right on a knife edge. This one finished 1-0 to Inter Milan when they were at home back at the San Siro. They now go away to Atletico, and I really could see this one going to extra time or penalties. I really do think is that close. Inter Milan, they are having a good season. They are top of Serie A, and as we said, they could get through to the Champions League quarterfinals here. Atletico Madrid currently sit 4th in La Liga. They did win their group in the Champions League group stages. I think it was Group E that they won. As for this one, do you know what? I think Inter Milan could get through here. As I said, I could see it going to extra time and penalties. Both have got good players that can hurt each other, but I could also see this one being quite low scoring as it was at the San Siro. It was Arnautovic who scored that gave Inter Milan the win. I think he might score again. I think Griezmann could score for Atletico. And I'm going to go 1-1. Atletico Madrid 1, Inter Milan 1, which overall means Inter Milan win 2-1 on aggregate. And I do think that win that they got back at the San Siro will give them the edge here. Let me know your thoughts on that one between Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan. I think it's really close. The final game then in the Champions League round of 16 is Borussia Dortmund versus PSV. Another game which is also quite close after the first game finishing 1-1. It was a Luc de Jong penalty, well converted, which gave PSV a 1-1 draw as they now go away to Borussia Dortmund. It's going to be tricky for PSV. Yes, they are doing well in the Eredivisie, as they always do, but Borussia Dortmund are a strong team and come into this one as favourites now with the home advantage. And I think I am just leaning towards Dortmund here. I think it's the star power of Sancho, Marlon, Royce. I think those players could pinch this in the second half, and I'm going to go for Borussia Dortmund to win 2-0 on the night. Therefore, Borussia Dortmund winning 3-1 on aggregate. I'm not underestimating PSV here, who are obviously a good team, and if they can score first, it will make the game interesting, but I think Borussia Dortmund will just have enough to get it over the line. So I'm also going for Borussia Dortmund to get through to the quarterfinals. So then guys, that wraps up my Champions League round of 16 second leg predictions. Make sure to get your predictions down in the comments. The teams that I have predicted to go through to the quarterfinals are Bayern Munich, PSG, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona, Inter Milan and Borussia Dortmund. That would be quite the interesting mix, and I'm interested to see what the Champions League quarterfinal draw looks like once these games have concluded. As I say, let me know your predictions down in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. It is free to do and we're going for 999. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to do. You're helping me out and you'll see all of the football content we do over here. And make sure to look out for Europa League predictions coming in a couple of days time. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace out.